Emil, good morning and thanks for being with us. Now, you were also informally known as Travis Kalanick's right-hand man during what we like to refer to as Uber 1.0. We were just talking to Mike Isaac earlier in the show, remarking how similar the tactics over the last few weeks have felt to that Uber 1.0 when you guys were battling legislators around the country and around the world. What did you make of yesterday's decision and how Uber handled it?
I disagree with Mike completely. I think what we did in 1.0 was we tried to keep that legislation from ever happening by getting ahead of the argument and not trying to undo laws that have been passed against the business model. But in terms of what I made of yesterday's court announcement, I think it was good for Uber that they got a reprieve, because I don't think either company was ready to employ the employment model, and it punts the issue till the ballot initiative, which is do or die for the industry.
Right, it certainly kicks it down the road. So what do you think that Uber's leadership should have done? Should this battle have started earlier?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Brad Tusk said that yesterday in your show. The battle should have started earlier. When we had this battle in New York, when Mayor de Blasio tried to cap the number of Uber cars, we spent the money and put the grassroots campaign in very early to prevent that legislation from happening, and it stopped it.
Emil, those tactics, though, they were, in some cases successful in getting you guys what you wanted in terms of pushing off legislation. But look at where it ultimately got you guys. I mean, Travis was ousted from the firm he created. You had to leave as well. So does that path just set them back on that ultimate outcome and turning riders, drivers, even their own investors against them if they take those sort of hardline tactics that you're talking about?
Well, those are two separate things. What the regulatory battle here is, to remember what we were fighting for. The right for drivers to conduct their economic life as they wanted, the right for riders in the suburbs and all these places that didn't have access to reliable transportation to get it. And those battles were right, and they were supported by huge swaths of the community. So we were fighting a government that was insensitive to the needs of their citizens. And so that, I think, had nothing to do with any of the kind of battles with the investors that ended up, hurting Uber, I think.
I guess my implication there was that eventually turned public opinion against Uber. But wouldn't Dara Khosrowshahi and his team say the same thing, that they're fighting for public opinion? They say that their drivers, the majority of them, do not want to be treated as employees.
Yeah, that's right. 70, and this is done by the rideshare guy, who's this gentleman who's put together sort of a rideshare industry panel, and he does surveys all the time. And today, he did this a couple of weeks ago, 70% of drivers do not want to be considered employees. They'd rather be considered independent contractors. So I agree with that Dara is on the right side of this issue. And so, that hasn't changed.